Hi, Trevor here, reflecting on life through music. Thank you for stopping by. Well, coming again today, you're very welcome, and I trust you enjoyed my last video on Enrique Iglesias. He's sold like 300 million albums, one of the highest selling Latin artists of all time. And we looked at this concept of saying I love you to somebody. So I trust you found that one encouraging. Well, there's a bit of a relation here today. We're going to Madrid in 1975. This guy was the third of three. But he was predominantly brought up with his mother and the two older siblings. And at the age of 6, he moved to Belgrade, but things weren't so good. Things were a bit dangerous for him, so they eventually moved to Miami. It was actually in high school that this guy developed a bit of a talent for writing songs, and he did star and be part of a musical, Hello Dolly. He did go to university, the University of Miami, to study business, but he dropped out to drop into a musical career. The guy we're talking about is Enrique Iglesias. Now, there is a bit of a link between, obviously, Enrique and Julio Iglesias, but certainly when Enrique was starting to think that he might have a bit of a music career, because he did drop out of uni, he didn't want to rest on his father's incredibly a superstar name. He wanted to do his own thing, get into his own way of doing things, and for that reason he actually borrowed money from the family nanny to record a demo. That demo included one Spanish song and 2 English songs, and soon he got discovered by Fernand Martinez and said, you might have a little bit of a thing here, and he eventually got signed to a Mexican label, Fono Visa, and he's with these guys for a little bit of time. Enrique in 1995 released a self-titled album. This was obviously in Latin American languages. The album did so well that it sold 500,000 copies in its first week. This is the power of Enrique and the way and just his appeal that he's got. Including 5 #1 singles, and a very significant album for that reason, because you normally don't get 5 #1 singles off one album. With this album, absolutely did that, and we've got an official clip of Por Amorte below. This is in a foreign language, and you know what? It's always good to look at people performing in their native languages, because it just adds something to the vibe of the song. So look at the official clip of that one below. You can see he's got all the superstar makings here. He's got the look, he's got the voice, he's also got the songwriting chops as well. And already the Grammy Awards had given an award for Best Latin Pop Performance. In 1997, out came Viva. This is also a very successful album for Enrique, and it's including a live version of the Yazoo classic Only You. Now, he did release this one in his native tongue, but this is actually one in English, and apparently it's the first time that he actually performed that one in English. So he was on a bit of a questionable wave at this point. He was starting to think about what about English and all the rest of it. And he said, hey, you know what? I want to start performing in larger stadiums. And he got some pretty amazing musicians behind him, including people from the Elton John, Bruce Springsteen and Billy Joel backing bands. And they did actually perform in 16 countries. And that was a pretty big tour for him, and he's starting to get very well known. He also released at this time Cosa del Amor, another Latin American album. At this point, he was well and truly a superstar in Latin America. But inspired by such other artists, including Ricky Martin and Jennifer Lopez, who had managed to go from Latin America into English-speaking United States, he thought, well, actually, I want to do that too, because you know what? I've got something to offer this world in music, and I want to be able to do that as well. In fact, Will Smith came up to him and said, hey, I've got this movie Wild Wild West coming up. Do you reckon you could do a song? And out came Balamus. And we've got the official clip of that one below. This was a very significant song for Enrique. It got to #1 in the US Billboard charts. Is at this point, record companies started to take notice, and there was a bidding war, a literal bidding war for this guy. We want to sign you. No, come to us. We want to sign you. No, what about us? We want to sign you. Well, Interscope, part of Universal Records, come and said, you know what? We're going to give you a pretty big album deal. I'm going to give you $68 million if you'll sign with us. Well, Enrique said, yeah, all right. No worries. And so he did sign with Interscope Records. And the first album, English-speaking album, Enrique, was released. And we got Rhythm Divine. We've got a live version of that one below. We've also got the official clip of Be With You. He would perform in Super Bowl number 34. And even though his performance was kind of canned at the start, he did actually prove himself to that guy and said, you know what, I'm going to perform in your studio with just me and a guitar. And the guy said, yeah, yes, you're right, all right, I agree with you, you can sing. And so good on Enrique to prove that he can actually perform live. In 2001, out came the album Escape. This is another massive seller, selling 10 million copies in its first week, or actually selling 10 million copies. And the song that we all love from Enrique Iglesias is the song Hero. We've got a studio version of this one below. Would you save my soul? I can kiss away the pain because you take my breath away. This is an absolutely stunning song. It really, really is a beautiful song. This one, Enrique was one of the songwriters of this song as well, which makes it even more compelling. There's something I love about the vulnerability of this song. I mean, and you can say, oh, look, I'm going to be your hero. Well, it doesn't quite work, does it? But if you are in an intimate relationship, a committed relationship with someone, and you need that stability, you need someone that can kind of rise up and help you out from time to time and sort of be a hero. And it's not so much around the hero of, look at me, I'm your hero, but it's sort of like, hey, you know what? I love you, you're my hero. There's a bit of vulnerability about, yes, you are amazing. You really, really are amazing. And so are you. So we can be each other's heroes. It's much like that David Bowie song, Heroes. You could be the king, I'll be the king, you be the queen. This sort of stuff. It's all right when a relationship is going really, really well, I believe. To start thinking, well, you know what, our relationship's going well. When relationships all around us are falling apart, oh my God, have you seen social media lately with what people are demanding these days? To have something as simple and straightforward and effortless is a beautiful, beautiful thing. And so you think, well, how on earth did I get in such a beautiful thing like this? Well, I'm in it. She's in it too. And we're in it together. So we can be heroes of this life. We can actually go after anything we want. Obviously, we don't tread on people's toes to do that. But, if we want a life that is happy, and we want a life that is full and rich, and we want a life beyond our wildest dreams, well, there's a certain mindset required for that. And something about, heroes, the heroes like us against the world, that sort of stuff. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing to know that you can be in a relationship with someone who thinks that you're pretty amazing. And it's actually okay to feel that way. And of course, what happens to you? Well, you got someone that believes in you, so you find yourself doing things that you never thought you would do. So I could be your hero, baby. In fact, I know how to kiss away your pain. I know how to take your breath away, as you do mine. So this is an absolutely stunning song from Enrique. It really, really is. And it was so good. You don't always realise who sings certain songs. And when I discovered that he sang this one, I thought, well, yeah, it makes absolute sense that he would sing this one. So I've got a stunning studio version of that one below. He would then go on to a one-night stand world tour, 50 concerts in 16 countries. So he was really truly on a crest level wave at this point. In 2002, as well as the big record contract he was also releasing Spanish albums, including Quizas. This got to number 12 in the Spanish Billboard 200. This particular album sold 1 million copies in its first week, getting to number 1. And so, Enrique really has not done anything wrong with his career, well and truly. And one thing that I forgot to mention at the start, he has got a rare congenital condition where his organs are on the wrong side of his body. So he's got the heart on the wrong side and the kidneys are on the other side. It's a bit strange, and he's actually, between 1995 and 2024, he's had 12 studio albums, 7 compilation albums, 62 singles, 80 music videos. And I think, the last 2 albums were called Final. I think he basically, after what has been, actually nearly a 30-year career, I think he's thinking, you know what, I've done what I need to do, because you know what, I've sold, depending on which site you look at, 100, 200 million albums. He's just had 5 top 5 Billboard hits. 2 of them have got to number 1. And he's had 27 number 1s in the Hot Latin chart. So this guy's well and truly contributed to the collaborative legacy of this thing called music, not relying on his dad's good name to do that. I'm sure his dad might have helped from here and there, but Enrique has had his own career, absolutely. So it's really always good to acknowledge kids that have stepped out from outside the shadow and had their own career. So he's actually been nominated 527 times for various awards. He's won 190, including 4 American Music Awards, 11 Latin American Music Awards. In fact, there's a lot of Latin awards in here. 17 ASCAP Awards, 3 Billboard Music Awards. He's actually received 1 Grammy Award, 5 Latin Grammy Awards, and 10 World Music Awards, just to name a few. So, good to give tribute to this guy today. So the links to those 6 clips are in the description below. And I've also included my last video on Enrique Iglesias. So if you want to recap on him, feel free. Well, if this is your first time, the Life Reflections to Music, or you've come back for another one, how great to see everybody here. Well, next time we're going to get on to Barry White. So until then, I'll catch you around. Bye for now.